restream chat over here and see what happens. Uh-oh. I don't know why it's doing that. Dylan, I don't know why it's doing that. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hey, Ryan, if you're out there, for some reason the restream chat is not enabled right now. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Martin Day. In the Wildwood lair. Martin Day in the Wildwood lair. Let's try this again, see what happens. Oh, maybe what I need to do here is go. Sorry, folks, we're just figuring out some stuff as we do. We're figuring out stuff as we do. Oh, that's the problem. Hold on just a second here, folks, for some reason. How's everybody doing out there? You all right? We're doing fine here in Wildwood Lair. Let's see what we got here. We're going to go on here, and we're going to go like so. Sometimes computers can be so vexatious. Am I right on that, or am I right? Guitars, on the other hand, are always good. Hang on, I'm having a little trouble with the computer that does the... Ooh, I heard a great sound. You hear that? Let's see what we got. Come on, just open tab. All right. Okay, it's always something in the computer world. This computer's acting most unfriendly. I guess I'm going to use the word unfriendly, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go like this and secured. That's what we want. Connect. Connect, you rascal beast. Connect, you rascal beast. Sorry, folks, we'll be with you in just a second. You know, this crazy world that we're in. Oh, now we're good that way. Okay, now I'm going to go over here. And see if we got... Oh! Boy, it's getting so excited now. Now it's getting very excited, Dylan. Nice. All right, now we're set up to chat. Hey, is that the new user-friendly interface that they implemented? No, that was just, we had to reset the router because for some reason it was not behaving. And for whatever reason, that disconnected the laptop that handles my restream. So when I tried to go online, I was like, why isn't this working? Because I had to reattach it. I had to reattach it to the warm bosom of the inner Google. That sounds a little dirty. Warm business of the inner Google. What's going on out there? You all ready? The mic volume is low. That's maybe just because I was away from it. Now I bet it's high. Now I bet the mic volume's high. We're all good now. It feels so good. How many drum kits does your son have? Mike Reha, you savage rascal. He only has a couple. What do you have? You have like what, 3 kits? Something like that? Yeah. Three usable ones as we speak. Hello from France. I like that. Can you dig it? Well, all right, folks. I just spat. Did you see that? Wow, good thing you're not here. We don't want to spread any kind of liquidity. You do not want to spread liquidity, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I'm playing a Savory Martin guitar at this point in time. Greetings out there in Wildwood land. That was a tune called Unrepentant. Thank you very much. That's from a record from myself, Gregory Kochery. Although it just says Greg Koch on the record. It doesn't say Gregory Kochery. But Unrepentant is the name of that song. And I'm using this brand new Martin SC13E. And it does have the MXT Fishman pickup system on it. It's got a nice little tuner on board. It's got an adjustable neck. It's very cool. Very fancy, new high tech from Martin. You can adjust the neck in ways that makes it extremely playable in a kind of more of a modern sense for people that want to do a little bit more than engage in bluegrass activity or singer-songwritery. You can really, this is a acoustic shred machine, if you should so desire it. There's a way to actually take different shims and put them in there to mess around with the neck angles and all kinds of crazy stuff. Cutting edge, diggity dong it, but it's also very affordable, so I dig it. I'm enjoying playing it. And when COVID subsides and I can actually gig in places other than my orange room, I will be taking this rascal with me unless Martin asks for it back. And then I'm going to say, sorry, just left town on my way to a gig post-COVID. Can you dig it? And I'm going to rock people's brains. I'm actually going straight into the, there's a Fishman Loudbox performer right next to me to my left. And we're really loud in here right now. I just want to point that out to you. So to be able to bang on this guitar and do parody with John Bonham-sized drums, pretty cool, I think, if I'm not high on crack. Next month in Devonsville, is that what we're doing? I'm in. All right, let's try a little something. What do we got? We can do so many different jams is what we can do. Can you dig it? Will you dig it? I hope so. I hope you can dig it. Some questions out there in movie land. So many different comments. I like it. Dylan is back. Guitar sounds killer, and your playing is outstanding. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Greg oblivious to Dylan saving cymbals and moving drums over never missing a beat. Yes, I don't have eyes in back of my head. Yes. But you know.
Old gear is fun, but...
Old gear is fun, but it moves.
It moves.
Yes. Yes. Somebody else asked some different questions here. Let's see what we got here. What camera are you using, and how is the audio being routed? Well, that's an excellent question. We've done some different things. When we first started doing these, decided to do a couple times a week. Actually, it turned out to be 4 times a week. I do 2 for Fishman and 2 for Wildwood. This, of course, Wildwood Day. We're doing Martin guitars. We were just using an iPad and doing it that way. And then Fishman sent me a Logitech camera and this little donut-y thing that lights up, and the camera's in the mix to this thing, which provides lighting. And then we're going through, actually then Dylan got a new computer. So everything audio-wise is being routed through this Focusrite Scarlett device. 18920. What is it? 18920. 18920. Anyway, so everything's going through there. So the microphone you're hearing me talk through is actually going through a Fishman SA330. So that's what I'm hearing in the room, but I'm going direct out of there into the Scarlett, into Logic. Dylan's drums are mic'd up. The acoustic amp's mic'd up. The electric guitar amp's mic'd up. And it's all going through Logic, which is going through a program called OBS. And my buddy Ryan Fitzsimmons from Fishman's actually mixing us from afar. He's in Boston, we're in Wisconsin. So as we do these things, he's tweaking. And then it's going out to the universe through Restream. So Restream simultaneously broadcasts it to various different portals on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and things of this nature. Does that answer your question? I thought it almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about, which is always a good sign. 3 glass slides. 3 glass slides. 3 glass slides. In case one breaks and another one breaks at 3 glass slides. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. There's a nice little tuner on board this guitar, which I dig, which shuts everything off, and so it's right in the, I don't know, can you see that down there? Right in there. See a little tuner in there? So when I turn that tuner on, it says to the guitar output, be silent. So it allows me to tune up the beast and prepare for rock. All right, today is Tuesday, is it not? We're supposed to get some inclement weather up here, remnants of the tropical storm Cristobal. And which doesn't happen often. When you're up in Wisconsin, you're pretty much protected from tropical depressions. But it's making it up this way, so that's crazy. Hey, John is C. Can you dig it? All right. We'll do a little, what the hell should we do? Let's do a little bit of Okie. Well, get rhythm when you get the blues. Come on, get rhythm when you get the blues. Jump the rhythm makes you feel so fine. Shake all the troubles when you're worried. Mind get rhythm when you get the blues. That shoe-shine boy never gets slowed down. He's got the dirtiest job of town. Bending low at the people's feet on the windy corner of a dirty street. When I asked him as I shine my shoes how to keep from getting the blues, grinned as a raised his little head. But the shoe-shine rag and said it again, get rhythm when you get the blues. Come on, get rhythm when you get the blues. Rock and roll, feel it in your bones, but tap on your toes and get rhythm when you get the blues. Listen to that shoe shine bow, and I thought I was gonna jump for joy. Sat down the shoe polish up and ride, but the shoe shine raggedy held it tight. He stopped once to wipe that sweat away, said you might a little boy to keep on working that way. Said I like it with a great back grin. Kept on bobbing and said it again, get rhythm when you get the blues. Come on, get rhythm when you get the blues. Jump the feel, make it feel so fine. Shake all the troubles on your worried mind. Get rhythm when you get the blues. Wow. Did you hear that? That was tornadic activity of brewing. That's correct. You know, we're talking about the weather situation here behind the Cheddar Curtain here in the Milwaukee area. We have we have many stout weather professionals here in town. But two of the biggies are Mark Baden and Drew Burgoyne. And sometimes just for the fun of it, no bearing on anything, I'll just go, Baden, you're no Burgoyne. Doesn't mean anything, but it's fun to say. Maybe you can try it out. Say it with me. Baden, you're no Burgoyne. It's fun, isn't it? Baked beans. Baked beans. I got names for people on the news. Nora O'Donnell, she's my angel, okay? And when anyone comes in the room and they say anything bad about Nora, I said, you shut your mouth. It's my angel. Who's with me out there? Nora O'Donnell? She's an angel. She may be spewing lies, whatever you think. I don't care. She's an angel, all right? And that's all I'm going to say about that. You can text her now with stuff, apparently. Sorry, we got. Where did we go? What happened? Something just happened. I know something just happened. It is Martin Day, and I'm playing this brand new Martin guitar, which has a handy tuner right inside, which I like, because every now and again I hit the strings like some kind of doggone clodhopper. I don't even know what a clodhopper is, but I think it's someone who yanks strings out of tune. And that person needs to be cautioned. But luckily, because of the handy-dandy tuner inside, which also mutes the pickup, and the pickup is, of course, a Fishman MXT preamp with a sonotone pickup, I believe it is. What year is that Ludwig, Dylan, says Johnny C. I think it's, what is it?
83, I believe.
Oh, it's an 83. Back in the lofty days of 83, I was sporting a killer mullet. At that point in time, I just went into whoever's cutting my hair. I go, I want it short up top and longer at the back, like Keith Richards and Ron Wood when they were in the New Barbarians. Little did I know, I could have just said, mullet me up. Of course, that wasn't a thing then. We just called it hair. Who's with me out there on that? We just called it hair. Now everybody, oh, mullet. I got a skullet right now. I'm not afraid to admit it, but it's all the same length. Whatever I can grow is the same length. It's not a conscious effort to be business up front, party in the back, okay? It's nature's way of saying whatever up front, long in the back, okay? Big difference. People just don't understand how hard it is. Okay? Clodhopper, one who hops clod. That's dirty, okay? Need some ragtime. Oh. One of the rockin' ones from the acoustic record. We can do that. That's a rockin' one. Joe Dirt. Can you dig it? Will you dig it? Yeah. See you later, Genesee. Can you dig it? I had a little song called Love and Peace, as opposed to Peace and Love. Again, this is a Martin SE13E, modern device of doom and destruction. Playable, delightful, adjustable, special construction, and it's affordable, ladies and gentlemen. Very affordably priced for the kids. For the kids! I'm going to grab now my Martin 0028, reimagined 0028. And is this all improv? Always. Although that is a tune, but I did whatever with it. Again, this has the Matrix Infinity pickup on board that I had installed at the Martin factory. Oh, Jay asks an interesting question. He says, who is Rex and why is he charming? That's a good question. Rex Charmer is when I would go out to Wildwood and do videos. There was a stretch there where a buddy of mine owned a house in Louisville, Colorado, which is where Wildwood is at. And they didn't live there. They actually lived back here in Wisconsin. But they had a house out there, and they would rent it out. And so when I would go out there and it would be available, I would stay at the house. And it was on Rex Street. And the advertising sheet that they had for people to advertise that it was available for rent was called The Rex Charmer. Rent the Rex Charmer. And I came up with that little tune at the time that... Right at that time. First I like to do it as a ballad. Can you dig it? The Rex Charmer. That's your story about Rex Charmer. Hey Greg, saw you in Groesbeck last year. Groes, is that how you say it? Groesbeek. Thanks for the pic you gave me. You're welcome. I wish I could get back there. Someone wants an acoustic version of Welch's Grape or Succulents. That would be hard to do. I got to be honest about that. That would be kind of hard. Did I say Maton pickup? No. This is a Fishman pickup. How are we doing on time? We doing all right? Why does it keep reminding me that I have a lesson tonight? I know it. Pinball Wizard. I see you, Patrick. So that's not a production beast? No, all of these things are production that I'm playing. Can we hear some classical gas? I've never learned that song. The Counselor. John, we can do that one. That one we can do. John requested a song for my acoustic record called The Counselor, which was dedicated to my dad, who was a lawyer. And I dropped off the record. I was like, my sister Ann, my dad lived over there for the last couple of years of his life. I dropped off the record. I go, Ann, you need to play him a song. So okay. So he never actually heard the song. Of course, maybe he heard the song in some capacity. But anyways, it was dedicated to El Padre. Can you dig it? When I can play it right, it sounds good. Yeah. Driving Uber and listening to Greg and Dylan, the passenger was asking me about the weird guitar player with the colorful hat. Get out! Where's the middle position on that thing, right? Reggae? Right? A little taste. Rastaman vibration, yeah. Greetings in the name of His Majesty, Haile Selassie, ever living, ever sure. Wow. I don't know what happened there. Lost control. Okay, what button are you pushing in that sound hole of doom? Excellent question. So underneath the sound hole here, I have a volume and I have a tone control, but it's really a sweep. So on one side of the pickup, it's just flat. The other way side, it's scooped. Did I say sweep before? Scoop, sweep. They both with an S. So when you go all the way to the right side from where I'm at, it's so the lows are lower and the highs are higher. So I usually start there and then do a skosh over to the other way. Jerry Reedism. Someone wanted some Jerry Reed. That's a little morsel. Fishman pickups, yes, on this rascal. dig it? Someone asked about a little Dickie Bits. We might be able to negotiate that. Quick word about your technical connections to this live stream. OBS or it's OBS. We're mixing everything through Logic, through the interface. Thank you. Interface. We got an interface. It's the Focusrite interface, the Scarlett interface. Everything's going in there, and then it's going into Logic, and then it's going into OBS. And then it goes through Restream and goes through the various different portals. Can you dig it? First inversion. Can you dig it? Will you dig it? How are we doing on time here? All right, we got some time then. Walk along the river, sweet lullaby, yeah. The keeps on flowing. We don't worry about where it's going. Well, don't fly, Mr. Bluebird. I'm just walking down the road. Early morning sunshine tells me all I need to know. You're my blue sky, you're my sunny day. Lord, you know it makes me high when you turn your love my way. You turn your love my way, yeah. Morning Sunday bells are ringing everywhere. Going to Carolina, it won't be long till I'll be there. You're my blue sky, you're my sunny day. Lord, you know it makes me high when you turn your love my way. Turn your love my way. Can you dig it? Couldn't remember that one chord in there. Well, you know, when you're winging it, you never know what's going to happen. All right, folks, we're down to the last few minutes of our broadcast. This is usually the part where I open it up for questions. And I'll be a little bit more attentive to the array of questions coming in from the various different formats. What do we got here? Yes, it is a 00028. This is a, I bought this a couple years ago, actually. This is probably about 3 years old. And it is a reimagined, thank you, Dylan. Everyone say thank you for Dylan for rocking with us. Thank you, rocking with us. This is a reimagined 00028 with a factory installed Fishman Matrix Infinity pickup. The Martin guitar, what type? It is a 00028. 00028. Rosewood back and sides. Any thoughts on 432 tuning? You know, I've never messed around much with the tunings that are just a variation of standard. I've just never done it. There might be something to it, but the interest has not been to the point where I've done it. Let's put it that way. Does that make sense? What do you think about maple guitars? They sound great. They're a brighter instrument, although I do love me, they're just a brighter sounding guitar. How do you stand apart from other guitarists or be original? Levi asks. You just try to be yourself is what you try to do. You practice, you stand on the shoulders of the people that you were influenced by. I always just kind of cherry pick the stuff I thought was cool that I wanted to put into my own stew. And then once I put it in there, when I'm playing, it just kind of comes out in whatever way, shape, or form. Well, my fingers are cooperating, that is. Is he taller than me? No. We're the same height. For Verdi. I don't know any Verdi, but I know a little Chopin. But are you ADD or ADHD? No. I wish the video went longer when you were demoing the Mike McCready LP. No, man, that was a while ago. Yeah, you never know on those things. Back in the day when we were first started with the Wildwood videos, we'd go off-site. And there were two guys. Now it's just me and Paul Brown. But there were two guys. Stephen Prill was behind the console of doing all the engineering and all that entailed the technical aspect. And then Scott Kelly, who still does the sound for the broadcasts, or not for the broadcasts, but for the videos themselves that we do, serial number videos and whatnot. Anyway. And he would tune up all the guitars for me and have them all ready to go. And so I would just grab one after another. And we'd do between 25 and 30 videos a day. And we would do that. At one point, it was, I'd go out there for 6 days straight. And we'd just go bum, 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 bum. So imagine the amount of videos we would do. Well, you can count them. And then is Wes Montgomery and the Kochs do? Absolutely. Anyway, so now I go out there and we don't have someone setting up the guitars. So when they come out of the box, I got to kind of make them behave a little bit. So now we get more like 20 to 25 videos done. We're really slacking. Question, what was the name of my first band? Well, one was called the Stray Cat Blues Band. That was before the Stray Cats. I like the tone. Is it the strings or the amp setting? I think it's all of the above. It's all a happy stew. Savage guitar video production. That is correct, Paul Brown. That is correct. I just dropped my doggone pick. What kind of stew do I like? Hot and now. Those are my favorite stews. Hot and now. What is it about B flat? You know what? It's a horn key. That's why people play in B flat. It's a horn key. Any tips for connecting chords in blues soloing? You won a guitar at one of his Gretsch events. Did you, Patrick? All right, dig it. That's a boy. So many questions. I dig it. So chord-wise, you know what? Sometimes I was doing this on a thing yesterday, I think. Like if I'm in A, sometimes I just use triads. I harmonize the Mixolydian scale with triads. If I'm in A, and I'll just drone the A string. So it's like G major triad. All these triads are for this particular exercise. Or on the D string, G string, and B string. So I got G chord, F sharp minor, E minor, D major, A7. I put the 7 in there just because. And then B minor, back down to A again. So with those, you're like. It's good, refreshing change playing acoustics over electrics. You have to dig in a little bit more. That's a fact. That is a fact. Any tips on doing a job as a musician that you really hate? Well, boy, that's a hard one. I mean, I don't think I ever really hated anything per se, other than I suppose there was some wedding band gig. I always tried to have fun. You know what I mean? Tried to have a little funzaroonie. But you know what? As a musician, you really can't afford to say no to too many things as long as it doesn't involve anything that's unsavory. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do anything unsavory. But session-wise, people would call me up to do stuff, and I remember I got a call one time. Do you play flamenco guitar? I said, what's it for? It's for a 30-second ad. I go, yes. So I borrowed a nylon string guitar from somebody that I knew. I think I may have bought a cheapie for like $300. And then I went and got a Paco de Lucia record from the library, and I listened to it on the way to the session. And when I got there, I just had to play something, you know, I read the chart, but it was just kind of a chord chart and add some fills here and there, and I did, and they're like, great. I thought, see? So, you know, depending, if they would have said, well, it's a solo piece for 60 seconds, then I was like, well, there's no way I could have done it. But as long as it was with a band, it was just a little seasoning. I said yes. So the point is, you say yes to things, and then within reason of your wheelhouse, even if you feel uncomfortable. If you feel like totally that you couldn't do it, then you might not want to say yes. But if you think you could do it, then you say yes. Hey, Greg, can you play something smilingly funky in the key of D minor? That's an interesting question. Let's see, with a question right about any simple chord hammer-on licks. minor, I can do all kinds of. D minor. These strings are 12s on the top. You can't smile in the key of D minor. It's the saddest key. Well, you think you can? Yes. Double stop. Just do thirds, you know, like a D. Can you dig it? Double stops and D. What is your approach to play between chords? Because it's like a chord melody, but not, or am I wrong? Well, it is. There's all kinds of things that I'm throwing in there. Sometimes it's just double stops or triads in between chord stabs. You know, so if I'm doing like a. This chord right here. All right. Killer to come into the world of a great musician. Nice of you to be accessible. Thank you. Love your stuff. Well, thank you very much. That's very nice. Do you only play Martin? On Martin Day, I do. It's Martin Day in the Wildwood Lair. Actually, that's been my go-to acoustic instrument since ever, really. Although I do like other acoustic instruments. Don't get me wrong. But anyway. Henry asks, Greg, what made Jimmy H such a fierce, spirited guitar player? Boy, there's so many different things, and I continue to hear stuff of Jim's because they must have had for the 3 years that he was famous. He must have just been recording the entire time because there's stuff that I still haven't heard that comes up. And there's a thing I heard. I've heard it before, but I haven't heard in a long time. And it's just these demos he did with Taj Mahal. They're sitting around, and he's playing a blues, and he's kind of doing that Howlin' Wolf groove from 44. And he plays a rhythm thing with little leads in between, and his time is fantastic. And he's just playing a strat, low volume, and he's kind of choking up on the picks. He's getting those pinchy harmonic-y things, but he just had taken blues and R&B guitar about as far as it could go in terms of rhythm and lead and just tasty stuff. And then, of course, you throw in all the different influences that you threw in there, and then, of course, through psychedelia and whatnot, he added in all these other elements to things, but with fuzz and feedback and whatnot. But truly a one in a gajillion. There's just no question about it. He did have huge hands, but that, I'm sure that aided him in his activities. Plus, he was probably the coolest rock star ever to walk. Am I right? I mean, you can't find a bad picture of Jim where you're like, well, that was a fashion mistake. He's like, no, he pulls it all out. It's like everything about him was just teeming with art coolness. And yeah, Jim, the end. And there's other people that just don't get it. I mean, you talk to some people, I don't get Hendrix. I'm like, okay. But to me, it's just as older I get and the more I get advanced on the instrument and my ears get bigger and so on and so forth, I still go back to Jim and go, yeah, my initial assessment was correct. He was the baddest of the bad. All right, folks, what do we got here? Well, it's 4:13. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Tuesday session. It was Martin Day, and I had played earlier this guitar, the SE13E, which is a delicious modern guitar with all kinds of interesting features on it that make it extraordinarily playable and adjustable for whatever your playing style might be. And it's also very accessible from a price point of view. The difference between the cost of these two instruments is, it's pretty substantial, I would say. This guitar here is a reimagined 00028 that I purchased from Martin with a factory-installed Fishman Matrix Infinity preamp and pickup. And I'm going straight into, right now, the Fishman Loudbox Performer. So the pickup sounds good. You just go straight in and turn it up. Other guitars sound good too, though, by Jiminy Jangle. What's for dinner? Asked 12 Radius. That's a good question. I think we're having jerk chicken. Marinated jerk chicken is what's on the, I'm going to be putting that in the grill right after we get done here. But I have to be hasteful because there is the remnants of Tropical Storm Cristobal that is coming into our neighborhood, and the weather personnel, which I talked about earlier. Hey, Baden, you're no Burgoyne. That doesn't mean anything. Mark Baden's fine. There's no thing, but I just made it up because I think it sounds funny. Just like I've named the news team on Channel 58. I call the guy baked beans, and I call the gal whiskey. I go, look, it's whiskey and baked beans. What does it mean? Nothing. It means nothing. Anyway. It's hard. Let's see what we got. Really been enjoying these sessions. Thank you. Well, thank you for tuning in. Come to Tallahassee. We will at some point when things diminish with craziness. Charcoal or propane, Greg? I used to be a charcoalsman, but now we are avowedly propane. When you want to get down on the ground, propane. That happened, all right? Do you use electric guitar effects? I do, but not a lot as of late. My signature amp that I have with Koch amplifiers has a harmonic vibrato on board. The reverb is glorious. And there's a bunch of different ways to adjust the overdrive. And that with my signature Reverend guitar, I really don't need anything else, especially because I'm playing in a band with an organ player, and that covers so much texture that I usually like to have some kind of a rotating speaker effect, like a Neo Instruments ventilator for a Leslie effect, but I have the harmonic vibrato on the amp, which sounds like a univibe, so I really don't need it. I do like wah pedal every now and again. I have a overdrive pedal and clean boost that I've used for years. We actually sell them. It's called the Gristle King. And I will use that pedal if I'm traveling someplace and I'm not sure what amp I'm going to use. That's a great clean boost and overdrive. I can set an amp kind of, clean-ish, and then hit the clean boost to get like a clean lead sound, and then hit the overdrive on top of that to have savagery manifest. Savagery manifest. So yes. Peace and happy barbecuing. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. I figured you're using a smoker, pulled pork or brisket. Yeah, you know what, Nigel? I'm not that obsessed. I do love the eating of food. I'll cook a bit, but I'm not so far. I mean, I've got buddies that are all in. They got the smoker. They make their own bacon and all that kind of stuff. That's not me. I know where to find the good stuff, and I will deploy my currency in that direction. So, my tens of dollars. I figured you used to be. You always make our day. A million thanks. Well, thank you, Manuel. Thanks for tuning in. Intro for Hate Godzilla is the coolest riff I've ever heard. Well, thank you very much. I do enjoy that one myself. Jimmy Waterfall, May This Be Love. That riff. Oh, that's a good one too. Are you the only one that could jam with Jimmy and EC? Lawrence Juber. Oh, he's fantastic. George Benson or anyone. And still, well, you know what? I do what I can. I do what I can. I enjoy it all. So doggone it. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Have a pleasant remainder of your Tuesday. We'll be back here doing the Wildwood activity on Thursday. I think Thursday's Fender Day. I'll have to ask. Newski's Bacon. You are correct, sir. Although I will tell you this, Henry. Carl's Country Market out there in Menominee Falls. Not only are their brats the champs, if you will, national champion bratwurst, they also have national champion bacon. And I'm thinking, yeah, whatever, bacon's bacon. And then I had it, and I was like, oh, kapow. So, yeah, not that you want to eat bacon all the time, or else, you'll perish. But every now and again, a savory bacon. See what I did there? I said a savory bacon. My wife and I say things in the singular sometime just for the hell of it. That's a good bacon. I'm wearing a nice pair. I got a nice short. Where's my short for shorts? It's a nice pant. Why? Because Baden, you're no Burgoyne. That's why. You know what? Just because, stupidity reigns supreme. All right. Thank you so much, folks. We'll see you next time.